My friends, what is going on? And more importantly, what in the hell happened to trucking in the last month? Why do I not know what I'm doing anymore? I am suddenly so confused since I left my house. The whole thing has just felt cursed is the word I'm looking for, because nothing, my God, my friends, nothing has gone right. You remember how this trip out started? And I was only going to run for 5 weeks, which is still the plan, which for me, that ain't very long, right? But you remember how it started out, huh? Our trip down to LA, where everything went to hell, 16 hours late getting loaded, which forced me to run overnight and made me real cranky. And then I ran out of fuel. Remember that? Yeah, that was fun. And then I'm sure a lot of other stuff happened, but I blocked it out of my memory. But today, guys, everything's went to hell again. Everything has went to hell again. So we're going to talk about it, and we're going to figure out what the hell is going on around here, because it is, for lack of a better term, fucked up. That's what's going on. So, remember this load I picked up, right, where I had to rescue a little rookie driver that was afraid to drive in the snow? I can only imagine that must have been what was going on with him, because I had to go get the load and take it back into Denver, right? Through a blizzard, uphill, both ways, or whatever. I don't know. What would a super trucker say in this situation? Snow was 10 feet deep, and we didn't, I don't know, man. I don't know what, I stopped listening a long fucking time ago, is what I'm trying to tell you. Actually, I didn't stop listening. I became one, and it's all been downhill since then, I guess. So I turned into a super trucker. So whatever they would say is whatever bullshit would come out of my mouth. And now we know. So anyways, I had to take that load into Denver for that guy because he wasn't going to make it. So there I was on a 3-drop load, which at my age sounds about fucking right now, doesn't it? 3-drop load is all you're going to get out of me. I used to have quite the impressive little baby launcher. Yeah, I sure did. I don't know why we're talking about this either. I heard 3-drop load and I sprung into action. But now these days, guys, especially after the vasectomy, it is less than impressive. The good news is easy cleanup. But what were we talking about? Oh, dropping loads. Yeah, I was on the right topic. I'm still talking about the same fucking thing. Anyways, I had this 3-drop load in Denver, right? Well, 2 in Denver, 1 in Billings. So I showed up to the first one, and the weirdest fucking thing happened. I thought it was weird at the time, and it just gets weirder after that. So I go into this place, and the lady working there, like, it's not the same business name that's on the bills, but that's not entirely uncommon. I handed her the bills, and I noticed a sign hanging up that said the name of the company where I was supposed to be at has moved to a different address with the address under it. I handed her the bill, though. I was like, does this belong to you, or am I in the wrong place? And she looks at it and she goes, nope, they moved, and she points to the sign. Well, the weird thing about it was I was already familiar with that address because I had just looked at it a little bit ago, because that address was the exact same address of my second drop. So the place I went to for the first drop, by a different company name, according to the bills, was located at the exact same address as the second drop. And I said, well, that's fucking weird. And I said, you're sure? You're sure that's not it, right? And she goes, I'm sure it's not us. Okay, cool. So I head over to the second drop through 10 feet of snow, right? Shifting gears. I don't have no pussy automatic. I'm shifting gears, right? All 18 of them on city streets in 10 feet of snow, because I was going real fucking fast is what was happening. I was just hauling balls across Denver in the snow. And I got to the second place, and I pulled up to their guard shack. And I asked the lady, I said, look, I got these 2 bills, and the bills actually both have that same address, which may have been why I was familiar with that address. I said, but there's 2 different business names, and I don't know if I'm in the right place. And she goes, oh yeah, both businesses are here. And I'm like, oh, cool, okay. Are you sure I'm in the right place? And she says, let me call up to dispatch. I will give them both POs, and I'll see if they give me an appointment time for those POs. And if they do, It sounds like you're in the right place. I said, okay, cool. So she's inside using the phone, and she comes back a few minutes later. She said, okay, they came back to me. They said one of these is a 6 a.m. appointment and one is a 10 a.m. appointment. Now that aligns perfectly because that's what I was showing too, a 6 a.m. and a 10 a.m. So I'm thinking, all right, they just didn't realize when my company sent me the drop address, they didn't realize that the company had moved. And the bills, though, did reflect that. So fucking everything sounds fantastic to me, right? And I go in there and I get unloaded, right? And I'm like, hell yeah, this is fucking cool. 2 drops knocked out at one place. I mean, I did have to stop at the other place and find out I was at the wrong address or whatever. And I don't know if you saw that little twitch. I don't know if this is covered by B-roll right now or if you could just see me, but my eyes were just like closing on me as I was talking. I'm fucking exhausted. And as soon as I finish this, I'm taking a nap. And then I'll drive for a few more hours and then go the fuck to bed. We'll get there. We'll get there in a minute. Anyways, so I thought that was pretty damn cool, right? I get unloaded. I get my little text message to pay my lumper bill. And I thought something was a little weird about this because the lumper bill had 1 PO on it. But whatever. I don't really care. That's Capstone's job to figure out, goddammit. They're going to hold you here for the rest of your fucking life like you're a prisoner in your truck. They can at least be fucked to figure out their job, right? So I didn't think much of it. I go get my bills. And I've got both bills signed, guys. Both bills in my hand with a rubber stamp on them that says received on both of them with the signature underneath. And I leave a happy guy. As a matter of fact, I was done so early in the morning and I only had 500 some miles the morning after the next day to be in Billings. I went home. I went the fuck home for the night. I said, hell yeah, I can make that 500-mile run and cool. I went home. Fuck yeah. That's awesome. And I got up yesterday, headed back out to the truck, you know, get her fired up, start to get ourselves rolling on down the road, and we start cruising. I-25 north, we're heading through Wyoming, right when my phone rings, which shocked me. When the fuck did I get phone service in Wyoming? I'll be damned. That's fucking crazy. Actually, Wyoming phone service hasn't been too bad lately. The last year or so, it's been okay. It's been okay. But before that, you got fuck all for phone service in Wyoming. But my phone rings and it's my dispatcher. And she goes, Josh, did you deliver both drops yesterday? And I was telling her, yeah, but it was really weird because the first drop had changed their address, had moved to where the second drop is, but the bills reflected that. So I took them there. And I had them look up both POs, and they came back and they said both of them go here for a 6 a.m. and a 10 a.m. appointment, which matches the information you guys gave me. So they took both. When some lady out of nowhere, which I thought was kind of sneaky shit, they had me on a conference call and I didn't fucking know and I didn't appreciate it. Some lady just starts yelling out of nowhere, are you sure that that was delivered? And I said, I am absolutely positive it was delivered. And she says, send us the signed bills right now. And I said, okay, let me pull over and I'll send in the signed bills. I got no problem with that. She says, they are saying at your second drop that they didn't receive the product, which is odd because the second drop was always going to be right anyways. If anybody was saying they didn't get their product, it would have been the first drop. Maybe that first place didn't look at the bill right and they were actually supposed to take that shit and they didn't, and they sent me to the other place who somehow had both of the POs and both appointments. I don't fucking know, but the second drop could have never ever been wrong anyways. And I told her, I don't know, I got the signed bills, I am happy to send those to you, right? So as soon as I could, pulled this big rig over. It took a lot of might to do it, a lot of muscle to get this big old truck stopped. Do you know what it's like to stop 80,000 pounds with just your feet? It's not easy. Only the manliest of truckers can do it. And I had to steer. You know how hard it is to steer 80,000 pounds down the fucking road? No, you don't. You don't, and you never will, because you're not as tough as me, all right? You're not as tough as me, and that's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. I would say meet me on Fuel Island, but then then I'd have to put my money where my mouth is and get my ass kicked by someone on the internet that I said wasn't as tough as me. So don't meet me on Fuel Island, because these are just words on the internet, okay? I'm not expecting to have to back the shit up. God damn it, I'm tough on the internet, you hear me? All right, so I got the shit stopped, and I sent them in, and I went on about my day. Never heard another word. I said, they must have figured it the fuck out, right? I got up to Billings, and I had to be up pretty early, but I was like 5 miles away from my stop. But it was a 3 a.m. fucking delivery. God damn it. 3 a.m. delivery, fucking reefer. Fuck off. So I got up at like 2 this morning, but I had a really hard time sleeping last night. I was probably up till like 11. Like trying 11, I said. I think I just growled that at you accidentally. 11. That's very seductive of me, isn't it? Isn't it? Anyways, it was a rough night trying to get to sleep. But I got up and I got over to my delivery, and I was happy because I got a few little naps while I was there and all that. And eventually I get the text message that it's time to pay my bill. So I pay my bill, I go inside, I am excited, let's grab this paperwork and let's get off to the next load. Let's go make some damn money. And they got the bill signed, fucking, they're like, everything's good, you're good to go. I'm like, hell yeah. So it sounds like there wasn't a problem, right? Well, no, there was a problem. I went to close up my trailer doors and noticed I had 7 fucking pallets still in the trailer. And I went inside. Now this place marked off every line as they counted their product, and every line was marked on the bill, and it was stamped received. But I went in just to make sure. I said, hey, there's 7 pallets still on my trailer. Are they not yours? And he goes, nope, we got everything. Everything is accounted for on our bill. I said, okay. So I went outside and I called my dispatcher. And I said, hey, I figured out what the fuck went wrong yesterday. She said, okay, what do you think happened? And I said, I went to that first place to do the 2 drops, and they marked them as received, and they didn't pull one of the POs off the trailer. They left all, it matches exactly. It is 7 pallets, and according to the bills, they had 7 pallets of the exact same product that's still on the fucking trailer. They marked it as received, and they didn't pull their shit off the trailer. The fuck you want me to do? You think I get up there between each drop and count pallets? Fuck no. Someone else's goddamn job. I don't give a fuck who has anything to say about that. There ain't a single one of us. Well, maybe there's a single one of us, but that guy's a fucking weirdo probably. He's probably a fucking serial killer. I would assume if you're that meticulous, you probably have serial killer tendencies. But amongst the more normal of us truck drivers, we don't get up there between drops and compare the bill of lading and go, oh, what do they do? No, we got the shit where it was supposed to go, right? Well, they just completely neglected to take their shit off the fucking trailer. So then my dispatcher's like, okay, this is going to be a shit show because you're almost 550 miles, 600 miles away from where that load is supposed to be. And she said, this is our big account. I never say the name of the big account because it's not up to me to say it in a video. She's like, this is going to be a shit show. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my cell phone number. That way we can communicate more quickly instead of trying to call each other on the phone lines and using the Qualcomm and things like that. That's what I'm going to do, which is a dangerous fucking game for my dispatcher. Because here's what's going to happen, my friends. She's going to realize she shouldn't have done that. Because one night, I'm going to get real drunk, and I'm going to convince myself that the reason she wanted me to have her cell phone number had nothing to do with work and getting work done. It's because she really, really wanted a dick pic from me. And then I'm going to have to come back to YouTube, and I'm going to have to make a video about why my contract was terminated because I thought my dispatcher wanted a dick pic. And that's going to be a really embarrassing video to have to make. And I don't want to have to do that, is the point I'm trying to make to you, my friends. I'm saying this to you, my friends. That's just what I assume. If somebody gives me their cell phone number, they must want to see the dick. And let's talk about that for a minute, guys. Let's be serious for a minute. You know who wants a dick pic, guys? Anytime you make contact with them? No one! Literally no one wants a dick pic. And I'm only bringing that up because I'm trying to help you. Because it seems like that's a thing that I hear a lot from, you know, the ladies that I know in my life. And I don't mean that in any kind of weird way. I know women. I'm friends with women and stuff like that. But the normal go-to is to send a dick pic. Here, I'm just trying to help, okay? A woman will always let you know when she's ready for the dick pic. You know how she'll know? Because she'll say, let me see your dick. That's how you'll know, right? And that is the exact appropriate time to send it. Never ever before that. You wait for them to very clearly say that is what they want to see. Because nobody wants to open up their phone and see your pee-pee. No one, all right? And I only went on that tangent to help you guys out. Because apparently it's a fucking epidemic of sending out unsolicited dick pics, which is what I just threatened to do to my dispatcher. So it's not like I'm innocent in this at all. I just said I would do that. You know, I'm going to get that shit in my head because my dispatcher, like, she gets on my fucking nerves, don't get me wrong, but she's kind of cute. She's kind of cute, which actually qualifies her to be my next girlfriend. Gets on my fucking nerves, but kind of cute. Yeah, fuck, I think I'm falling in love with her right now as we speak. I'm planning our wedding in my head because that's the kind of shit I'm into. You're cute, but you're annoying as hell. Fuck yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in on that shit. God damn it. Oh, God. That joke probably just got me in more trouble than I realized. And more trouble than you guys realize, too. Son of a bitch. Fuck. I'll deal with that later. I beg for forgiveness a lot in my life, guys. I have to be honest with you. What the fuck were we talking about? Dropping loads, right? So, anyways, the fucking... She has me get a hold of whoever our big contract is. It's not that I'm hiding it. It's just not my business to say it, right? I drive the goddamn truck for my company. It's not my business to dabble in their business. That's all. So she says I have to get a hold of them, tell them what's going on, and then they will work with me. And also the people in the office are going to work with them also, and we'll see where we end up. So I call the company up and I explain the situation. I say, hey, I went to the place and the place had moved, and I went to the second place who was able to bring up both POs in their systems with appointment times. The whole thing, the whole fucking thing. I said I delivered in Billings after hearing yesterday that one of the drops, which was the same fucking place, was saying that they didn't get their shit, only to find out that sure enough, their shit is still on my fucking trailer. And she says, okay, let me figure this out. She gives me her email address, which might also mean she wants a dick pic. I don't fucking know. I'm not good at picking up on social cues, you know? So, she gives me her email, said, send me all your signed bills and send me pictures of the product in your trailer. She said, and we just have to go from there. That's all we can do. So, I'm texting back and forth with the dispatcher. I'm getting emails back and forth with that account. And eventually, it comes to, I get an email back where they ask me, what's your ETA back to that drop? And I said, I'm not aware that that's the plan to head back, but I can head back. I said, but it's a full day drive away from here. So, tomorrow morning, I can be there. And she says, okay, we're rescheduling you for tomorrow morning. I screenshotted the chain of emails. I sent it to my dispatcher, and she comes back and she says, okay, that's all we can do. We have to take it back. She said, so, yep, don't send in your empty call. Head back down there, and I'll have our team rebuild your load for you, and then you can we'll worry about it tomorrow. And then I clarified. I said, I told her, this is not my fault. I have the signed bills in my truck. They claimed they took their product off and it's still here. I will not move this truck unless you tell me I'm getting paid to run this. And she says, you will be paid to take this back. And I said, fucking perfect. I'm all in, because it's only like 11,000 pounds now. That's an easy 600 miles, right? 11,000 pounds, that's good fuel mileage. They're going to pay me for it. Fuck, they'll probably even pay me for another drop. If I ask, I didn't ask, but that may be what they do. But the reason I clarified was because you fucking have to, right? You have to clarify. And had they said no, my friends, had they said, hey, you know, something got fucked up, we just need you to return it. Had they said no is the point. I know I got that reputation here on YouTube as that job hopper, right? And I'm doing really good. I'm trying to get to that year, and we're most of the way there. We're most of the way to that year now. But had they said no, you just take it back, my next text would have been, after that, then route me back to the terminal, because you do not touch my money. You do not fuck with my money. And it's not up to me to unload the shit. It's really not. So they said they're paying me to go back. I don't fucking care. I had to go somewhere today anyways, right? So that's what I'm going to do. After I get this video edited, I start uploading it. I'm going to take a nap. And then after my nap, I'm going to get up and drive for just a little while longer, because you can't park near Denver when it starts to get later in the day. It's hard to do. And then I'm going to deliver the shit tomorrow. That's what the fuck is going to happen. And the saga continues with all the bullshit that's been going on since I got myself back out on the road. I don't know what the fuck's going on, my friends. This has been like the most challenging, I don't mean hardest, like I feel like I still know how to be a trucker, but by far the most challenging month I think I've had in trucking in a long time, because absolutely everything is going wrong. And I'm probably just doing like crazy trucker shit where I sit in my sleeper by myself and just dwell on it, and then it amplifies it in my head, and then I start to think that it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me, when in reality it might, I mean, it'll probably be just fine. But it's been not a ton of fucking fun is the point I'm trying to make. Anyways, that's the video. I gotta get this shit put together. I'll talk to you guys soon.